My name is Greg Holtz, and I am the Mission Director for Crossing Cambodia. Back in 2011, I met a little girl who would forever change my life. She was living on the streets of Battambang with her family. She is an amazing little girl. She has an infectious smile and a unique ability to work her way into the heart of absolutely everyone that she meets.
A little while after I first met her, I was told that she was going to school. An organization was sponsoring her to attend the first grade. But then a few weeks later, I found out she had dropped out. A couple months later, I was told that she was back in school again. Her mother then took her to the countryside to visit her grandmother and failed to inform the organization sponsoring her of where they were going and when they were coming back. So they dropped her from their program. Nearly a year went by before I once again found out she was in school. This time, she was attending for over 2 months. But then suddenly she and many families were evicted from the sidewalks where they were living. They were given 24 hours to relocate, and anything they couldn't take with them was pushed into large piles by the roadside and set on fire. They were unable to tell the new organization sponsoring her about where they had gone, and they were not able to continue picking her up for school. Once again, she dropped out. 3 times in 2 years, she dropped out of just the first grade. Now, she is an incredibly smart girl, and she really wanted to go to school, but at that point, it was apparent that simple, basic things in her life that needed to be taken care of were not getting done. Now, you have to understand, the parents of street children are not just people who don't care about their children. There are cultural differences. They are dealing with abject poverty. They have addiction issues. There's a cultural bias that always seems to beat them back down. In the face of all this, it can be incredibly difficult for people to make the right decisions and take the right actions for their own children. These kids, their families, they just need some help. And so that is where Crossing Cambodia steps in. We put each child in our program into a small group of about 5 or 6 kids. That small group is then assigned a full-time advocate whose job it is to be big brother or big sister to that kid. They go out each day at 6 a.m. They find the kids, they wake them up, they bring them back to the center. Once they're at the center, they bathe them, feed them, get them into school uniforms, and walk them to school. The advocates communicate with the school about absences and student performance. We provide the kids with tutoring and extra classes as is needed. And in the end, we are doing our best to keep these children with their families and seek ways to serve those families as well. Our ministry is looking for the kids that slip through the cracks elsewhere. Our program is meant to fill in the gaps of the lives of these children, give them that extra attention they need to succeed. We aim to model good relationships for them and responsibility through our advocates. And through these deep relationships, we have the opportunity to share the gospel message of Christ. We hope and pray that through these relationships, these children will do more than just say they love Jesus, but actually take it to heart. That girl I told you about earlier, we set up our program around her. In 2013, we enrolled her in the first grade. In 2014, she finished first grade and moved on to second grade. She is still with us, she is still going to school, and she has not dropped out ever since.
Sponsorship of a child through Crossing Cambodia helps us to care for them. It enables us to have a deep impact on their lives and the lives of their families. It enables us to put Christ's love into action in their lives. Will you please join us